what is a perfect 3-bike garage? For me, it's a road bike, a gravel bike, and a mountain bike. Yours may differ, let me know down below. And for road riding, I have my lovely Giant TCR Advanced custom build that you've all seen, link down below. And for gravel, adventure and bike packing, I have the splendid Fairlight Sacan. And for mountain biking, well, I don't currently have a mountain bike. Since launching the channel just over a year ago, I've actually been on a search for a mountain bike that really does everything I want from a mountain bike. And that is a bike that's a polar opposite of my gravel and road bikes. So, after much searching and a few phone calls, I've bought a new bike. I know, I've actually bought a new bike. I'm as shocked as you are. So, let me give you a closer look and go for a first ride on a lovely sunny day. And here it is. What do you think? Doesn't it look good? I'm really pleased with how it's come out. So this is what you call a trail bike, a mid-travel 29er bike built for descending capabilities and also being good at climbing, but really the focus is on how fast you go downhill. So 29-inch wheels because they're faster rolling, 150 millimeters of travel from the RockShox Pike at the front, and 130 mil travel from the 4-bar suspension at the back. In the middle, we have a tough, durable and lightweight aluminium frame. And then the geometry on this bike is really the star of the package and one of the reasons I chose this bike. Very progressive, so long reach, 485 or something like that. I forget off the top of my head, I'll flash up the geometry here. Quite a slack head angle, steep seat angle, so good climbing, but good descending as well. And then the big tyres, the wide handlebars, the big disc rotor on the front all point to that descending capability, because this bike was meant to be the polar opposite of my Giant and my Fairlight. In the Giant, I have a fast, supreme road bike for long distance or short club runs. And then the Fairlight, I have a very good, comfortable, mile munching, gravel exploring, bike packing bike. This bike was all about descending first and foremost, not a cross-country race whippet, not a race bike. It's not about climbing fast, it's about descending fast, but with the most fun, the biggest smile I can manage. And also a bike to really push my limits, push me outside my comfort zone, really try and challenge myself on the most challenging trails I can find in my local woods and further afield. So with all that said, let me run you through some of the component choices on the bike and then we'll go for a spin and I'll show you how it rides on my very first ride on my brand new bike. And what do you think of the red? I've always wanted a red bike. I've never actually had a red bike. I've had blues and blacks, but never a red bike. So here we go, my first red bike. So let's start with the frame, the beating heart of this bike, and it's a Bird Aether 9. Now Bird is a small British company you might have heard of, quite popular here in the south of England. They're based over near Reading and they make mostly aluminium frames and now just launched a carbon and a steel bike. Really good focus on value for money. They sell direct, so there's no bike shops, so they pass saving on to the consumer. You buy direct, lots of options. And they built up a bit of a cult following for the price and value for money. No nonsense frame design, and also geometry, which is really on point and progressive, which is a key buzzword in the mountain bike world, so longer and slacker. This is a size ML, so they have a medium and have a large. This is the medium large, and it suits my 180 centimeters perfectly. The reach, I think, is 485, which is a sweet spot for me. It's longer than many bikes, but not too long, so it's nice and manageable in the woods and on twisty trails. And it's an aluminium frame. Now, my heart would rather go for a high premium carbon frame, something like a Santa Cruz or a Yeti, but they are really, really expensive, and the channel isn't quite making that sort of money yet. But even that said, I still like the durability of an aluminium frame, especially for a mountain bike when rocks are pummeling at the frame and you're crashing it, so nice and tough and rugged. And it's a really smartly designed frame. I like the look of it. 4-bar suspension, external cable routing, which made the build really easy. And some people prefer the looks of internal cable routing, and I see where you're coming from, but the simplicity, the easy maintenance and the easy building of the bike with external cable routing won it over for me. And it goes down the top of the down tube, very neat around the bottom bracket, so I can't quibble really at all. And the bike was a dream to build, and I did it myself, didn't get the local bike shop to do it for me this time. Particularly the bottom bracket, the threads were chased, so the bottom bracket went in really cleanly. Everything bolted together, really nice, just a dream to build in the afternoon in my garden. So the Aether 9 is their latest model. It's a 29er trail bike. They have a bigger enduro bike and they have shorter travel bikes as well. This has 130 millimeters of rear travel from the 4-bar configuration, and you can put a 130 to 150 fork at the front, and I've gone for a bigger fork. I've over forked it, which is a thing in mountain biking, so a bit more capability from that longer travel fork, but doesn't compromise the bike and handling too much. It does slacken the geometry a little bit, but it's all manageable. Some other nice and sensible details on this bike include a threaded bottom bracket, a bonus for British winter riding when it gets really muddy, and space for water bottle inside the main frame. Although it's a bit compact in there, I've got a side entry cage and a small bottle because the top tube does slope down quite a bit, maybe too much in my preference. If they'd gone a bit higher up the seat tube, could have fit a bigger bottle in there. And I haven't gone for a posh shock with a piggyback reservoir, so space is limited, but I can get a bottle in there. So the frame is brand new. Luckily they have one in stock in my size, in the color I liked, and the rest of the components are old review components from magazine testing and some second-hand parts and some brand new rubber with the tires. So up front I went for a RockShox Pike 150mm travel. It's an older fork, but it has the latest debonair damper, so up to date with the latest technology from RockShox, 150mm travel. I got a set of Hunt trail wide alloy wheels, which I reviewed for Pink Bike a few years ago. These are the first generation, nice 30mm wide internal width, strong rugged alloy rims, nice durable bearings. I've been running these for a couple of years on different bikes and they work really well, no issues at all. And then the tyres are brand new, set of tried and tested Maxxis Minion DHR and DHF tyres in the new wide profile. There are plenty of tyre choices. You might have tyre preference. Let me know down below what tyres you are preferring, but these are a pretty solid choice. Fit and forget, really, what I want from a mountain bike. And then the other components on the bike include a Shimano Dior 12-speed group set, which you might know I had on that Tri-Fox Chinese carbon bike last year. I switched all the parts over from that frame onto this bike because that bike, while it's good, was too close to my gravel bike, and I want something a lot more fun and a lot more capable on the descent to really move away from those two bikes. So Dior 12-speed group set, massive 1051 cassette, 32 chainring on the front. It works really well. Also got a 4-pot hydraulic disc brakes, replaced the resin pads that come with it with sintered pads for better bite and durability. And it's a great group set, works really well. The cassette's a bit heavy maybe, but shifting is good on the load, and it's been a durable group set. Just put a brand new chain on as well because the chains don't last all that well, so I put a new chain on. And then I've got a USC Ultimate seat post, a dropper seat post, which I reviewed for Pink Bike, and it works okay. It's a little bit temperamental, shall we say, setting it up. I'm not a fan of the paddle shifter, so I might replace that with something else. Let me know your suggestions for a dropper post down below. I'd love to hear what you might recommend. Quite fancy, a new RockShox reverb with the wireless axis setup, but very expensive. And then the other parts, a Truvative stem, a 40mm stem, and a Renthal handlebar cut down from 800 to 780, and my preference, and some Def Grip grips from DMR, which I think completes the build. Oh, and some Shimano SPD trail pedals. And the weight is about 32 pounds or thereabouts. So it's not super light, but it's not super heavy. Anyway, that's enough waffling. Let's go for a ride and see how it performs. And this will be my first ride, so I can't wait to see how it performs.
Right, here we go. And I am going to take it fairly easy because one, I've built the bike myself and I hope it doesn't fall apart on me. And two, well, I need to get a feel for the bike and a nice and smooth, flowy approach rather than ragged. And the trail pixies have been out here since I last rode up here, so these trails are new to me. And they're so slippery. Just trying to thread it between the trees. Bit steeper here, another drop, big compression. Oh, the bike feels so good straight away. What's down here then? Way a bit steep, oh, I messed it up. Oh, the bike, the first time I've ridden it, it feels so good. Got that sort of planted stability from the wheelbase, geometry, slack head angle, and the big wheels. but it's also pleasantly agile. Well, at slow speed like that, and feels good in the turns. Oh, it feels so much fun. I can't believe how dusty it is right now. Let it go, let it go. Off the brakes, be a hero. God, I feel the back end sliding around underneath me. So just riding my local trails, which aren't the steepest or the biggest, but they're still good fun, especially when it's just dry. Super dusty. So yeah, this is my first ride, so I need to take it easy, make sure everything's bolted together, and get a feel for the bike really, and see what it's all about, and see where it delivers the fun I was hoping it would be. Bit of a log jump here. Hey, yes, oh, the bike feels so good in the air. Almost overcooked into that corner. It's quite steep down here and quite dusty. And put my line carefully on the brakes. Into that right hand, catch the berm on the left. Oh, the bike feels so good. So controllable, even when it's that steep. Oh, whoa. That's what I want from this sort of bike. They let you ride that sort of trail, pushing limits, being a little bit scared that it can all go so wrong so easily. Oh, but what a buzz, what an adrenaline fix that is. That definitely wakes you up in the morning. It's like having a double espresso. Wham, hello. Yes, that is what this bike's all about. Fun. Whoa, where's the next fix? Whoa. I don't know, I've done this trail before. I haven't been here in a long time. Oh, it's so loose. Oh, loads of soil in the corners. A few little drops here. Nice. Oh, yes. The weight is manageable. The suspension is very controlled. I've got a compression lockout lever in the shock if I need it. Maybe on a smoother tarmac climbs, but off-road, the suspension is doing a good job. Does all the flatter linking trails like this really well. Hides the weight pretty well. And I've got a steep seat angle, which pushes you forward nicely, keeps you over the cranks. So at least you're in an optimal position for getting your power out. That first ride on any new bike is always slightly nervous, but so far it's performing so well, and it hasn't come apart yet. Oh, there's a new trail there. Oh, it just feels so good in the corners. Oh, it's handling the bump so well. God, tricky to talk when you're riding. I don't know how Guy Kesson does it. You know, running commentary when your eyeballs are in stalks, your heart's thumping away. Oh, and I'm just having too much fun, just grinning too much. I'm a bit rusty on the mountain bike, I have to admit, so it probably doesn't look as epic as it feels, but it feels amazing. Hopefully it's coming across. Oh, it's a bit washed out in there. When buying a new bike, I always recommend, if you can, I know it's been tricky with the pandemic, to get a ride on a bike, whether road, gravel or mountain bike, especially mountain bikes. And I haven't had the opportunity to ride this bike, but that said, I did ride their Aether 7, which is a 27.5 version of the bike, say 2 years ago. Did a first ride pink bike and a video link down below. So I had some idea what to expect. And I've also ridden quite a few mountain bikes in the past couple of years. So in my head, I've got a good idea of the sort of bike I want in terms of geometry, wheel size, suspension travel. And I knew on paper this bike, it looked good. It looked the right shape. I knew the suspension worked well for riding an Aether 7. I also got a chat to Dan, the designer behind the bike, well, to better understand or decisions you made on a bike, which always helps you to get a better understanding of a bike. I know, quite a privileged position. That's also a benefit to a small company like that. You go and visit them, make an appointment, take a bike out for a spin. They're really amenable to that. So that definitely helps. Can't always do that with big bike brands unless they've got a good bike shop to support them. But all that said, there's always that apprehension, especially when you built it from lots of parts lying around, that it can deliver the experience you wanted. And so far, I'm very, very pleased to say, it's not only delivering the experience I wanted, but exceeding my expectations. And it's the sort of bike I really missed in my garage for the last couple of years. A bike that's just about having fun, shredding the trails, as the kids say, and it's such a different experience to my road bike and my gravel bike. It just puts the fun front and centre. Road bikes, gravel bikes are fun as well, but in their different ways. And these 3 bikes do reflect the riding I like to do. I grew up mountain biking, how I got into sport, and then discovered road riding and gravel recently. And I love the different riding the 3 bikes open up. And that's why I think these 3 bikes complement each other so well. The road bike for its speed, the gravel bike for the exploring and the freedom, and a mountain bike just for sheer kicks and thrills and good sensations. That was a great first ride on my brand new mountain bike, and nothing fell apart on it, and it easily surpassed my expectations for it. And for me, completes my perfect 3 bike garage, which is a road bike, a gravel bike, and now a mountain bike. But what about you? What are your 3 perfect bikes in your garage? Well, I'd love to hear from you, and if you want to share, I have a cap to give away. So get sharing down below by leaving a comment, and even better, if you have photos, you can put on Instagram and Twitter and tag me and link down below so we can see the bikes and discuss them down below. That'd be fantastic as well. And you can win a cap like these. I've only had them printed recently. They look pretty good, I think, and you could be wearing one of these if you share your bikes down below. Anyway, that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I can't wait to see your bikes, and I'll see you again in another video very soon.